everybody, this is Ruth, and I thought it'd be fun to show you how we're making the covers for the art journals. So this is the second step. The first step was to dye the paper towels. The covers are made out of paper towels. So this is what they'll look like when we're finished with this process. This is a dried one. So the first thing we have to do is separate this paper towel. I probably should have started this before I began the video, but you'll get to see this step of it, which is a little time consuming. Paper towels are made out of 2 layers, which you may or may not know. Takes a little sometimes to, I apologize, to get it going. There's a little opening. Catch it. Just so. Okay, I'm going to put you on pause if I can do that. Well, maybe not, because I'm not sure if I can put this on pause. I might be able to cut part of this out of the video so that you're not sitting there. Okay, here we go. Here we go. So, there. So we pull the 2 parts so we have a very thin tissue. So we pull these apart. All right. Be very careful not to tear it. Just a little bit is okay. All right, so we're gonna set those aside for a moment. We wanted to get those ready. All right, so this is clear Elmer's glue, and I've already pre-marked my silicone mat here, and we're gonna put a layer of this silicone or Elmer's glue down, full strength Elmer's glue, and we're just going to put this down. Go as quickly as I can so the video is not too long. It's a little labor intensive, and we get to do this 40 times. For the first layer, we set that aside, and we take one of the towels and we lay it down very carefully. We don't want to get bubbles if we can help them. So we want to lay this down very carefully so it's smooth without bubbles. Underneath. The bubbles are problematic. Don't get a nice result. And this is called, faux paper making. It's kind of like you're making paper but cheating. Right, so some of my edges didn't quite get trying to fit as many on my mat as possible, so we're kind of running off the table, but that's okay, 'cause we have a lot to make. So, all right. So now we're going to take a mixture of glue, clear Elmer's glue, and water and glue, so it's it's a little more soupy. And we're going to put a layer of that down on top of this. This is kind of quick. And I know it seems like a lot, but we've got some fun things to put in between the layers. And we're going to lay paper towel, the other side of the paper towel, on top of this. Again, that's kind of, I'll pull the mat back. I maybe should do that now. I don't get glue on my jeans. But I'll do it after the video. There's a little bubble. Here we're kind of gonna look for bubbles, because we really don't want bubbles. I'm gonna get a little bit. Okay. I may have to go make more of that mixture. Okay, here's where we have some fun. To make it look like faux paper, we put some things in between the layers. So those are some little paper dots that I made with a hole punch. So I sit with a hole punch and punch paper, and then save the little paper punches. And so that's another process of just sitting with a hole punch and punching paper circles. That takes time. This is dried tea from an herbal tea bag. And I dry tea bags to save the tissue from the tea bags and use those to in other craft things, and we've used those in other things that we're putting in the art journals to kind of like age new things that we've made and make them look old. So, and then I save some of the dried tea to use in things like this. Now these are the little paper hearts that I punched out of paper and saved those to put in here in the faux paper. And this is thread from, and I saved the thread from my sewing, all the little odds and ends of thread, and I use it in my faux paper making to make it look more realistic. Okay, here are some little tiny pieces of tissue that I've chopped up from tissue paper, and we're going to lay a few here and there on the tissue, on the faux paper, on the paper towels. This is all going in that layer in between the two tissues, the two layers of the paper towels. Let's just, I'm just going to pick that up with my finger, lay it down. Okay. All right. So now Okay, so now I'm going to take and put on top of a little bit more glue on top of all these little paper pieces so we get a good seal when we put down that top layer. Otherwise we might not get a good seal. Looks pretty good. Alright, now I'm going to stand up for this because it will be easier. We're going to lay this down over the other tissue. And I hope I'm not blocking your view. So we're going to very carefully lay this down again. Laying down, and I know you can't see this, but I'm trying to, maybe if I lay that down, I'm just going from this top, I'm calling it the top, but for you it's the side, and just bringing my finger down to try and eliminate as much air between the two layers as possible. It's kind of going sideways. I need to try and reposition this, which might create air bubbles, which I hope doesn't happen. It's too far that way. Almost didn't put enough glue down. Okay. Move that over a little. Okay. I hope I have enough glue. I may have to make more glue solution. Alright, so now we're going to cover this again. I think I'm going to have to interrupt and go make more solution. This is the glue and water. So you can see it takes quite a bit of glue. Yeah, I'm gonna have to make more. Hi, I'm back again. I realized that I forgot a very important part of the cover. I was so wrapped up in showing you how I do the covers, and Sandy and I have made little mezuzahs to go on the covers and a little Jewish star. We designed the mezuzahs. Sandy drew a little beehive, which is the theme for the art journals, is beehives and bees. Goes along with a poem that I wrote that's inside of the books. And so it's a little beehive in a mezuzah with a shin on it, and it's printed on rice paper. So I forgot to put that on the cover, where it goes up in the upper right hand corner of the cover, and so we position it right here I'm so glad I was reviewing the video to see how it came out, and I was like, oh my gosh, I forgot to put in the mezuzah, lay it on the top, and the little Star of David that goes there. So here we go. There's the mezuzah, and we put the star right over here, and we coat that with the glue and water mixture. So that's the final step for this part. Okay, we'll see you later. Good morning. We're back again, and I wanted to show you the last steps of making the covers. So the last thing that we want to do, this has been finished with 2 layers of Mod Podge, but before I did that, I trimmed the edges with an antiquing method of putting on, brushing on a layer of distressing ink. Let's see. Here's a larger cover, but it's because I've been putting the dauber on the top and the middle, it's kind of darkened. But this is from Tim Holtz, but you can use any brown colored or brown red colored ink pad. So what I do is I just brush the sides with the ink pad, or I use a dauber, and let's see if I can find my dauber here. So I would ink up my dauber, and I would brush the sides like this, or to make it go by quicker. And this is kind of rough on your daubers and on your ink pad, but I would just do this to get a dark color on the edge, and you can maybe, I hope, kind of see where it puts brushes a little bit of darkness on there. And then the next step is I like to trim it with just a little bit of gold to make it have a nice look. And I use this gold wax gilding paste. And here's the cover for what I'm using on these. So it's like a little paste, and I just put a little bit on my finger, and it's waxy, and I just run a little bit of it very lightly along the edge, and you get like a gold, just very lightly a gold trim. The idea is not to make it a solid gold, and I think you can see that right there. So that is how I trim the edges before I put the last layer, 2 layers of Mod Podge on the covers. So that makes a nice edge, and I like to just do that extra touch. After the Mod Podge, then it looks like that. So there's just a nice little glow on the edges. So the covers end up being very flexible, and there are more detailed ways to go ahead and finish these. This is not really a complete tutorial. I'm going to put links in the bottom of the description where you can go and watch the professionals do these step by step with really close-up pictures of how to make this kind of material. And then the very last step is to put in the lining for the book. And so this is printed paper. And just like in a regular book, I'm going to decoupage this onto the cover to make a very nice lining for the book. So that's how we're doing the covers, and I hope you have enjoyed learning how we did the covers for the journals. All right, we'll see you later for the rest of the videos showing you how we're making the journals. Bye. Good morning. It's Saturday, February 3rd, and today I'm tea dyeing and drying in the oven this music sheet paper that I bought. It came from a book of music sheet paper I had bought at the thrift store, and I thought it would look nice in the journals. It has these holes at the end, and we can put lace or yarn or something in there, and it would be in the book. So I'm doing that. So and I also cut more liners for the book covers. So I thought I'd show you just real quick what goes into the pages that I cut. It's a little process. So hold on, and I will put the camera down. Okay, so I take the sheet I have on my paper cutter here, pre-marked places, and so I can just quickly mark it and cut it to the size of the booklets. And so I'm going to try and make this as short as possible, yet still show you what each page in the book goes through, because the books are an odd size page, so we have to do this to make it fit in the book. Okay, so those are leftovers. This is the size of the page. We have a little extra step. We need to round the corners so it looks nice in the book. So I have this little cutter that will round the corners. I'm going to do that one corner if I can. There we go. I'm going to leave this because of the little perforation. Now I did the same thing for the covers, and I rounded the corners. So each page that's in the book is cut this same way. So see you later. Hi, I'm here again. I'm going to show you how I sew the books together, the pages and into the cover. So just hold on a second, and I'll get this down to a table view, and we'll get going. Okay, so I've arranged the pages here and creased them. We have a variety of pages, so the outside, the first page in the book, like this, is going to be this printed paper with a pretty design, and it's got this, if you recall, the fast food faux rice paper that we had made. This is sewn on the bottom of that first page, so it'll make like a little pocket. And then it's got art paper, a page of that printed page of faux tea-dyed paper, just some journal paper that was tea-dyed, another actual ink page, another blank page. This is that music page that has the little holes in it. And then there's a paper lace and one of the sewn book pages in the middle. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, I guess we need another page. I guess I'll grab this. Here's another ink dyed page that we'll put in here. Let's kind of space it out from the others. Oh, that's 2 pages of that. Well, well, all right. Okay, so here's a blank page. We'll put it in here. Guess I'll put it here. Okay. So we're gonna kind of, I had this creased, but now we need to crease this page. Get it in here. We've got this page off to the side a little bit so that the holes stick out. All right, so now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, plus the lace and the sewn book page. So now we're going to keep it together while we're putting it in the book, we're going to paper clip this. So it'll stay together while we're sewing it. We take our cover, make sure it's the right direction. This is the bottom. And then we're going to set it in here, and we're going to use clips to get this in the correct position in the book. So it doesn't shift around. While we're sewing it. Make sure that's all down in there. All right, so now I have this little whole sheet so the holes go in the same place in all the books. And it's a 5-hole punch. I use this awl, which has a sharp end, and I stick it right down into that crease, and I do it sideways so that it comes out at the very crease of the book. And I punch that in each time about that far. I think you can see that, yes. Each time. The clamps are keeping it together so things don't move around. So we've got our 5 holes. Now I have my needle threaded, and we're going to go down in the middle hole. Always seem to, every other book I'll poke my finger. Sometimes it. Okay, so and then we're going to go up this hole, and hopefully I had used this book page for another. I had to take a book apart, so this book page has been sewn before, but we're using it anyway because we're not going to waste a page. And then we come back up through this hole into that same hole, and then we're going to go down here, go down to that hole there, and go back up that last hole, go back up, and then go down that second hole there. I've sewn a lot of these books. And go up the middle hole and come up on the opposite side of our tail so that we're on either side of the center thread. And then we're going to tie a knot right there with these 2 tails. I'm going to put my needle in that little tray so I don't lose it. And then we're going to tie a little bow. This is waxed thread. It's special thread for making books, sewing books together. Okay, so I'm going to make that a small bow, not a big bow. Pull it tight. The wax thread makes it possible to do a nice bow that will stay put. I'm going to trim that down. My pinking shears was the first shears I could find. All right. And then we take the clamps off. paper clips. And this is how we do all 40 of the journals. And there you have it. We have another book. Very nice way to put the books together. It's a nice book binding. It's like a regular book. Then we're going to finish the journal. The closure are these ribbons that go in the little hole punch there, and we just tie an end and put this ribbon, and then they tie together and keep the little journal together. So that's it. There you go.